Like many of you, I enjoy my privacy on the internet. So the constant advances over the last few years and the ability to collect massive amounts of personal data about me have not really sat that well. But is the industry's favorite big buzzword right now, big data, all bad? Or are we painting an otherwise potentially very useful tool for the advancement of society in a bad light because of one aspect of it? First, let's discuss what big data actually is. There are many wildly different definitions of big data. For example, while we individuals might define it as an intrusive threat to our society and the overall anonymity of the internet, corporations might see it as a revolution in data processing and computing. But there are at least a few things that everyone can agree on. Wikipedia defines big data as any collection of data sets so large and complex that it becomes difficult to process using on-hand database management tools or traditional data processing applications. I mean, that doesn't sound so threatening, right? So essentially, big data is just a collection of data so large that each individual becomes an insignificant number, where whoever's in possession of the data often actually can't make meaningful conclusions about any one person from it. And many times, actually, the term big data is misused. It's turned into a marketing buzzword, with software and IT companies stating that their systems are ready for the challenges that big data provides, which is a great way to say absolutely nothing about the product while still managing to seem important or relevant in the current market. On top of that, as much as many of you guys might not like to hear this, privacy advocates tend to misuse the term as well. They act as though big data only describes user data compiled by sites and services, when big data actually encompasses many more types of data, like scientific and business data sets. For example, meteorological data from weather stations and market data from financial exchanges all around the world. Now, before you burn me at the stake for being a secret NSA operative for defending the idea of big data, I mean, how else do you think I could afford my awesome Lambo, right? Certainly not from that YouTube money. Let's chat a little bit about when big data is an issue. Websites that collect and store data about their users for marketing purposes can keep a massive amount of your personal information on hand for an indefinite period of time. And most of the time, the data's not as well secured as they'd like for you to believe, or personally I'd like to believe it was. In addition to that, even deleting this information from public view often has no impact on their ability to store it on their servers. So yes, it's possible that one embarrassing picture of you from 2008 will live on in the depths of Facebook servers forever. This, coupled with the massive amount of information sharing, voluntary or otherwise, and data interception that agencies like the NSA carry out, means that your regional government, or I mean really any other types of nefarious characters, could potentially have every move you've made online on file. Now, for me personally, even though I don't do anything illegal or even questionably legal on the internet, if someone were to go through every bit of information from the years that I've been using it and cherry pick certain things to paint me in a negative light, I'm sure I could end up looking like a pretty bad dude. So let's make a quick connection here to solidify the ideas that we've discussed. Torrenting is something that we all know can have an extremely positive impact on the world. It's one of the greatest forms of information sharing. But whenever we hear anything about torrenting, the topic revolves around piracy and its other unsightly aspects. Discussion about big data is quite similar. It's not in itself a bad thing. It's a driving force for a lot of great innovations in science, technology, and medicine. And yet, for the most part, we only hear about the negatives. The main one being the lack of control that we have over our online data and the amount of control that large corporate entities do have over it. So don't blame big data for creating the need to protect your privacy online. Blame the companies who collect, store, and most importantly, use it inappropriately. Speaking of blame, you know whose fault it is that we have the resources to make this great episode as fast as possible? Cooler Master. So a big thanks to them for sponsoring us, and if you guys have a PC that isn't running as well as it could, maybe because of overheating, or maybe it doesn't have some of the features you need, like a front-mounted USB 3 port on your case, check up their lineup of great value coolers, cases, power supplies, and even mobile accessories. They're good guys, and we really appreciate their support up in here. Anyway guys, that's it. Thanks for watching this video. Like or dislike it accordingly, and leave a comment if you have suggestions for future episodes of Fast as Possible. Also would like to take a moment to thank Lifehacker for the article that inspired this particular episode. You can find a link to it in the video description. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, and I'll see you again next time.